Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer, and today I'm going to be reacting to scenes from what I consider to be the worst of the three Atlas Shrugged movies, Atlas Shrugged 3. I mean, kudos to them for actually making Atlas Shrugged movies, except if you were actually gonna make it, you should have done a better job. I just think, okay, they were not that bad. Atlas Shrugged 1 had its moments, Atlas Shrugged 2 had its moments, and it was cool to see, like, wow, somebody made an Atlas Shrugged movie, but Atlas Shrugged 3 had too many awful things going on. So let's just watch little clips and see what we see. Oh no! Is this when John Galt gives his speech? If you're watching this, there might be Atlas Shrugged spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thompson will not speak to you tonight. His time is up. For years you've asked, who is John Galt? You've asked that question in despair and resignation as factories closed, goods became scarce, jobs disappeared. Your lives are becoming more difficult as the life force of your world is draining away. You have asked that question without expecting an answer. I'm here to answer it. This is John Galt speaking. Mr. Thompson won't tell you the truth about the crisis in your world. I will. Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom. You are selfish and uncaring. Disappear? I took them from you. People on strike worked for themselves. They were being punished. Trade, cooperate, and compete in a place by the state. Life is a support your own by your innocence, which cannot. In that world, you honor, respect.
Okay, well, this was the reason why I skipped through the whole thing is because it's super boring. Like, I cannot sit through the whole thing. I don't know why they shot it this way. You know, just like with the Fountainhead movie, which was approved by Ayn Rand. It's always very tricky when you have long speeches in movies, because movies are not a great platform for speeches. A book is a great platform, but a movie is very visual, and the only visuals in this speech are just people listening to the speech. Like, if you are going to try to make it visually engaging as a movie should be, maybe try to illustrate what he's saying with things that match the ideas he's trying to convey. If he's trying, if he's talking about how the world has been decaying and there's a reason, show it in some way, show the ideas that he's talking about. But we're literally just seeing like a black screen of him being like, sha, 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 sha. And people being like, and other people being like, like, this is not interesting to watch. So that's one scene that it's not worth it. Let's find another one.
This is a story that begins on a...
Oh, by the way, the actor that plays John Galt in Atlas Shrugged Part 3, I've seen him before in person because I used to be a background actress when I lived in LA. I did a lot of background acting work. And I remember one time I went to a set and I was like, wait, that's John Galt. I mean, for me, he was John Galt because I didn't really know his name. But he was there like as a stunt coordinator or something. I don't know who he is, but I was like, oh, it's the same guy that played John Galt in the movie. And he was there working on that set. I didn't talk to him or anything, but at that time, I remember he just looked really familiar. I was like, and then once I left set, I was like, wait, could it be the same guy? And then I looked him up and I was like, oh yeah, that was John Galt. John Galt. Anyways, let's keep going. Obviously, it's not this poor actor's fault that this movie turned out the way it did.
warm spring night at a meeting of the 20th Century Motors employees. The plan was that everybody would work as hard as they could.
Ah! This is the story of the 20th Century Motor Company, which actually I am doing a fan adaptation of in animation form. I did a fundraising campaign, and we're already like more than halfway there in terms of production. The animation, it's more than 50% complete, so it will come out eventually in a few months once it is fully complete. But it is, part of it is from this scene, except let's see how they approach the scene versus how I approach it, or how I would approach it if I was doing a live action adaptation of that scene.
But share in their salaries and the profit based on need.
Remember, each of us now belongs to the other by the moral law we all voted for and we all accept.
I don't.
First of all, what I like that there's actually women in the audience, like there's women employees, but this feels like it's a more modern version of what the actual 20th Century Motor Company was like, because in Atlas Shrugged it happens like, I think there's no actual date, but for me it feels like it was in the 40s or like some old-timey time, and this one looks a lot more modern, so it's definitely understandable why they would have women in the audience. But okay, let's keep going.
His words caused confusion, but he stood there like a man who knew he was right.
I'll stop the motor of the world.
Perhaps he had
No!
stopped the motor of the world.
Who says that? No. Is that in Atlas Shrugged? Does John Galt during that scene say, "I'll stop the motor of the world"? Seems odd. I will have to revisit. And I will put it right here to see if he actually says it or not.
You see, his name was
Who is
John Galt.
Is this a
Word was
trailer?
spreading quickly that another giant of
Yeah.
industry, Dagny Taggart, had gone missing.
What is your name?
John Galt. What is that?
Oh my gosh, this is such a shame because it looks like they actually had a very decent budget and they had great special effects. Maybe not like the best, but they were pretty good. And so this movie could have been so much better if they had worked on the script more and had a better production team. Because one thing that you notice in this movie is the sound of the dialogue is very strange. It almost sounds as if they didn't record any dialogue on set. It almost sounds as if everything was dubbed, like they went to a room later on and they had the actors say their lines over the recording. It sounds really weird. It sounds kind of muffled and artificial. That's one of the things that it's jarring when you watch this movie, and it's distracting. Let's keep going.
That frighten you?
The man who invented the motor.
You invented the motor? So you invented the motor. Am I a guest or a prisoner?
The choice is yours.
You're the destroyer.
Get some rest.
Dagny, it's wonderful to have you here. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Dagny, this is a strike of our minds.
So what are you demanding?
Nothing.
I'll pay my own way.
I doubt it. You're penniless.
What? So they're not in school?
Oh, no, I'm homeschooling them.
All of your life, you've heard people saying that we have to help the less fortunate.
That philosophy can't work.
While Thompson and his cronies were holed up in the Wayne Falkland Hotel in New York, preparing for his big speech, Henry Reardon continued his search for Dagny Taggart. Meanwhile, several Reardon steelworkers died, defending a mill against a violent takeover by government-sponsored union thugs. Jim Taggart scheduled a press conference announcing the sudden return of his sister Dagny to New York.
Dagny, I'm glad you're back.
You've nationalized the railroad.
No skin off your back.
Coffee? Coffee, please.
Wow. They actually had some like strong cast. You know that guy from Mad Men. Yeah, he's from Mad Men. Mad Men.
Oregon's overrun by gangs.
We're dropping Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, Head of State Thompson.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight, I need to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of chocolate cake. Do you know why?
We're out of chocolate cake. Wait. Is this a real line in the script? Is this a line in the book? What the hell? Okay. It's not like when you adapt when you adapt a novel into script, it's not like you cannot add any new content, except if you are going to add some content, it should make sense. What the hell is this line? Also, I will put it here to confirm whether or not that is a line from the novel.
I took it from you. The chocolate cake is a sacred possession. This is John Galt speaking.
This looks like it was edited to make people laugh, and it is succeeding.
Finally, somebody says the truth and says it the way it was supposed to be.
Wait, who is that? Wait. I am confused, but when I Google it, I will put here his name. I forget.
Said.
If that speech doesn't do Thompson in, I don't know what will.
Muzzle those commentators.
Oh, wow. You see, they had so many good things going for them, these producers. Like, they got all these big names, like real political commentators to comment, to appear in the movie. But the movie was such a flop. Did it make money?
We want Galt! We want Galt!
Ah!
Galt.
His face.
No. It's the beginning.
No. That's another thing about this movie. A lot of the lines were so cheesy, like setup, pun. It just felt like one of those like SVU episodes where, you know, Ice-T and someone else discover the victim and they're like, oh, look, this girl had ice cream on her face. Looks like she was a fan of dairy. You know. But wow. This is obviously not an official trailer. Somebody was very creative with their editing. No. What is this? No! John Galt will never laugh like that. They're doing him a disservice. The John Galt from Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged would never act this, like, just laughing sarcastically. No, that's not consistent with his character. Let's read the comments. They have to be applauded, if only for managing to make each movie in this trilogy worse than the last one. I hadn't watched a single movie in this series, so when I opened this video up, I seriously thought it was a parody or something entirely unrelated to Atlas Shrugged. Oh no.
Straight from Hollywood.
How did you get here, Midas?
You must be hungry.
Sure.
They called me heartless, which I could live with. But when they forced me to give loans to people who could never pay me back, I got the hell out. Come, you must be hungry. When the politicians started making medical decisions for me, I decided I couldn't be a party to it anymore. Here in this valley, I treat my patients using my professional judgment, not some...
How did you get here, Midas? Is that Kay Ludlow?
Straight from Hollywood.
Oh my god, the actress that played Dagny in Atlas Shrugged 3 is bad. Or maybe she's not bad. Maybe it's that dubbing because it sounds so weird. Is that Kay Ludlow?
How did you get here, Midas?
How did you get here, Midas? Her acting, or like I said, it's maybe the dubbing, but she was not a good choice for this movie, or the way they shot and did post-production in this movie was not good.
Me? I made my fortune lending people money to buy houses and build businesses, and I only loaned to those people I was confident could repay me.
Sure.
They called me heartless, which I could live with. But when they forced me to give loans to people who could never pay me back, I got the hell out. Come, you must be hungry. Wouldn't be my patience using my professional judgment, not some political directive.
Dagny, we are on strike. What happened to Midas? What happened to Doc? What happened to each of us? No man belongs to another, Dagny. But there are those in power who would have you think otherwise.
This movie, I mean, this scene is such a snooze fest. It's very just like a regurgitation of ideas, which is obviously very tricky to do in movies. You're definitely welcome to sell ideas, promote ideas, but the way they're doing it here is not very successful. It's boring, it sounds very preachy, and it's very passive. And Dagny, who should be like the star of the movie, she just looks like she's just like she looks like she's about to fall asleep.
We honor charity and benevolence, but it must be provided on the giver's terms, voluntarily, and not by force. The powerful try to make us feel guilty for our success. And we are guilty. Guilty for sacrificing ourselves and for working under their terms. So we had to withdraw.
Again, it sounds so weird. Like, it's either the acting that is weird or it's been dubbed. Therefore, it sounds not authentic. It sounds artificial. And when it sounds artificial and not authentic, you lose the audience.
To go on strike.
But what about what you left behind?
We left nothing behind, Dagny. What? We took with us the only real thing of value. Dagny, this is a strike of our...
Dagny.
Alice?
Another funny thing is that this is supposed to be like a party, you know, people are there celebrating, yet you only hear these people talking. You don't hear any like ambience background sound to sell that they're at a party. Everything's so quiet. It's very strange.
You deserve to hear what each of us...
Anyways, my God, I wish I could find the scene in Atlas Shrugged where Galt and Dagny have sex or make out, because it's really bad and really funny, but I don't see it. Oh well. Oh my God, I found the sex scene. Why is there so much wind? What? Why? Do me here on the table. I will, baby. No. This sex scene is so cheesy. And unnecessary because it just feels wrong. Oh, ew! I don't want to see that. It doesn't need to be that explicit. Also, it feels wrong because you never really feel the connection between these two characters in this movie. It feels really artificial. But this is too explicit. Like when you compare it to the other two movies, there weren't any kind of scenes like this in the other two Atlas Shrugs. Ew, she's taking off his belt? Like, no. Ew! This was unnecessary. She's biting her lip. No. Ew, no. Please, no. 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 What? This was so unnecessary for this Atlas Shrugged movie. Okay. Oh.
Вижу сигнал.
Okay, I guess that was it. Now I can tell you that's the end of the video. This was fun. Is it dangerous for me to post these kinds of reviews because I might be burning bridges? Maybe, but I don't actually know any of these people, never met them. Anyways, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want some fun giggles, watch the full movie Atlas Shrugged 3, and let's just hope that in the future there will be a better, maybe not a movie, but a series, Atlas Shrugged series. I know that if I were to make it, it would be really good because I'm a great filmmaker and a great screenwriter and great at adaptations. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.